Yo, what's up guys? This is Derp here with another Baldurs Gate 3 guide. So, you're just starting out Baldurs Gate 3, maybe you've never played Baldur's Gate before, but you think you want to be a bard. This is going to be a quick start guide, not a lot of fluff, not a lot of crazy detail or spoilers, but just what you need to know to make a good bard and get yourself into the game. So, first off, you have your origin where you pick your character name and your background. So for background, some good ones are Charlatan for deception and sleight of hand. Criminal is good for stealth and deception. Entertainer is really good for acrobatics and performance. And then if you want to go more like for all around checks, I would do history and persuasion with the noble. For more melee focused or combat oriented, you could do athletics and survival with the outlander. And then if you want to do focus more on magic, you could do sage. Those are going to be the best in my opinion. Urchin's also pretty good, so sleight of hand and stealth. But yeah, let's jump right into the race. So right out the gate, bards, if you look over here towards your ability scores, your main ability is charisma. So you're going to want to get a class that does well with charisma, wisdom, and then dexterity and constitution. So like these four are pretty much your go-to. Dex, con, wisdom, and charisma, with charisma being your main ability score. With that in mind, I usually go with half-elf because you get +2 charisma, and then you get a pick 2 of your own, and you also get dark vision up to 12 meters. You cannot be charmed or magically put to sleep, and then you also get a pretty decent movement speed at 9. And you could pick 2 individual ability scores of your choice. What I'll usually do is Constitution and Dexterity. So you get +1 Dexterity, +1 Constitution, and then +2 Charisma. Or I'll do Constitution and Wisdom for the extra perception and those type of checks. For the interest of this, because I'm gonna be a little bit more stealth and combat oriented, I'm gonna go with Dexterity and Constitution. Half-elf, another good choice would be halfling. The Lightfoot halfling is also a very, very good bard, especially if you're going more like roguish bard, stealth, and attacking with rapiers and stuff like that, because they get lucky. So any attack roll, ability check, or saving throw that lands as a 1, they could re-roll it. They also have brave, which gives them advantages on saving throw against being frightened, so it's really hard to frighten your character. They get the +2 dexterity, naturally stealth, so you're proficient with your stealth checks. You have a little bit slower of a movement speed, but you also have that +1 charisma, so it's really good. Another good pick is human. So human's pretty decent because you have +1 to everything, and then you have a movement speed of 9, which is pretty good. And then wood elf is also decent, or high elf, either one, any of the elves. But I like wood elf a little bit better because you have Mask of the Wild, you gain stealth proficiency, you have +1 wisdom, and then you have 10.5 movement speed, so you're pretty fast. And then you also get the dark vision, and you can't be put to sleep and all that stuff. And you also get a lot more access to a lot more weapons like long sword, short sword, longbow, and short bow. And you have proficiency with perception, so that helps out a lot too. So those four races would be elf, human, half-elf, and halfling. Half-elf would probably be the best because it's a pretty good balance, and you could pick what you want to lean towards. So you still get the dark vision, the movement speed, and the Fey ancestry, plus you get all the skills and a cantrip if you pick the half-elf or the high-elf. If you pick the half-elf, or the wood elf, you get charisma, and then you get fleet-foot, which is improved movement speed, and then the proficiency in spell or stealth. So I'm going to pick a wood elf, half-elf, and then appearance, you could pick whatever appearance you want. You could also randomize that, but I'm just going to leave it as is. And then for bards are mostly a spellcaster class, they're like kind of a jack of all trades. You can be a healer focused, you could be a battlefield manipulator, you could be a direct damage, you can be a buffer, you could be a debuffer. They're pretty much whatever you want them to be. So I'm going to go more buff friendly, so I'm going to do Vicious Mockery, which is a really good cantrip because it does 1d4 damage, but it also gives them a disadvantage on their next attack roll, which is huge. And then Blade War is good. You get is good. You get resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage from weapon attacks. But I'm gonna go with Minor Illusion or True Strike. I think I'm gonna go with True Strike. So I'm gonna be a little bit more damage focused and buff. So this can be cast on any character. So you divine a character's defenses. You give advantage on your next attack roll against it. So you either True Strike or Minor Illusion would be one of my two. So Battlefield Controller, Minor Illusion is really good. And with that in mind, I'm going to go with Dissonant Whispers is really good because you can frighten. So I'm going to go with Dissonant Whispers, and then I'm going to go with Featherfall because there's a lot of verticality in this game. And Featherfall can help your team out a lot. And then I'm going to go with Sleep and either Tasha's Hideous Laughter or Thunderwave for the push. Thunderwave is super good because it pushes people and it does damage. But Tasha's Hideous Laughter is really good because it makes your enemies go prone for up to 10 turns. And then they have to have, but the only downside is that it doesn't work on beasts. So I'm going to go with Thunderwave for some damage. Sleep is just super good. And then Special Instrument. This doesn't really matter. It's kind of a flavor thing. But I think it does give you some different dialogue choices later down the line. I'll do a Violin. Violin's pretty chill. They also come with Bardic Inspiration, which you can cast as it's an action. So that buffs your next... It gives advantage on somebody's next roll, which is super good. So they could pick from pretty much any skills. They're kind of like the rogue in that aspect, where you can pick with almost any ability or any skills. So I already have Stealth, Insight, and Persuasion. So Acrobatics is super good. It helps with like jumping and climbing and stuff like that. So keep your balance, land on your feet. Helps you resist being shoved, which is huge. You get shoved a lot in this game. Athletics is also super good. So it prevents you from physical stuns. Also prevents you from being shoved. Arcana is really good. But I think I'm going to go with Perception and Performance. And then I'm going to get rid of Intimidation. I don't really care for Intimidation. So I'm going to do Perception, Deception, Insight, and then I'm going to do Performance. Because there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with Performance in this game. A lot of cool dialogue choices and stuff like that. And it can also help with your playing instruments and stuff like that. You can get a lot of helpful stuff from it. I would say either you need Perception, and then I would take at least Deception or Intimidation, one of the two. And then Persuasion you already have. But then either one of the knowledge skills, like Religion, Survival, Arcana, or something like that. Or you could go, if you're going more combat focused, you would go with like Athletics or Acrobatics. But you're going to want Perception no matter what, because it helps you spot hidden enemies. And if you're the party leader, you're going to be out in front most of the time. So it'll help you spot traps and stealth characters. For ability score, you're not really going to need Strength. Dexterity is going to be helpful. Constitution is going to be helpful. Intelligence isn't super helpful, so I'll drop this down to 10. I'll drop... I'm going to put my Dexterity up about as high as I can. So let's see if I can go any higher. It won't let me go any higher than 16, so I'm going to bump this up to at least 12. Can't go higher with that, so let's see if I can go... And that works perfectly. So I have 10 intelligence, 10 wisdom, 10 strength. So I don't have any negatives. And then I have 16 dexterity, 12 con, and 17 charisma. I'm going to be trying to keep this character out of combat as much as possible. And then if you click on Venture Forth, it'll bring you to your love interests. Who do you dream of? Who attracts you? You can pick male or female. Or pick whatever you want. And then your class. This is kind of just a aesthetic choice. And it does impact some story elements later. But you pick whatever you want. So kind of RP this a little bit. So I'm just going to go with that. And then if you click venture forth, it gets right into the game. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully it helped. You have a wonderful rest of your day.